everyone, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy at TV. In case you're not a subscriber yet, please do subscribe. Just press the subscribe button as well as turn on the notification bell so that you can get notifications when we upload our videos. Don't also forget to subscribe and join, follow, like our other social media platforms. Of course, you're seeing it right about now. Don't also forget to share this video across your platforms. Enjoy the video. All right, welcome back to the program. My guest is joining me right now, Dr. Emomotimi Agama. He is the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Good morning, Doctor. Welcome again. Welcome as DG.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, Nancy. It's nice to be here again.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me get started. You've been in the capital market for a long time. Like I mentioned earlier, welcome as DG. I've spoken to you even when you were not. But you were appointed last April, if I'm not mistaken. The Senate confirmed you and your colleagues in June of last year. So you are like less than a year. So I've given you enough break to be able to settle down, you know. So tell me what is different for you, you know, being the person now that is watching, because I read what you say. I have come to your office many times for programs and all of that. And you say that you watch the market like an eagle. So speak to me about what is different now with you as DG, even at the helm of affairs.
Well, once again, just want to thank Mr. President for having the confidence in myself, my team, and the board, appointing us to lead a very significant part of any economy, and that is the capital market. So for us at the SEC today, it's a whole lot of a different ball game. And I say that with all sense of responsibility because we realize and recognize the value and the strength of the capital market in moving any economy. We often say that the capital market is the barometer of any economy, and that is a truism. Because clearly, for any economy to move, the capital market must be there. So we come with a spirit of providing a solution. So we'll say we are a solutionist capital market, providing solutions to all the length and breadth of challenges that you can ever envisage within an economy. So what is new for us? What is new for us is efficiency, dedication, and giving back to society what it requires to have. And that is using the capital market as that engine of growth, you know, that propeller of prosperity and the redistribution of wealth among Nigerians. It's a privilege that Mr. President has given to us, and we must give back. Give back by working hard, making sure that the people that we serve are properly served. And you know, for the capital market, first and foremost, behind the mind of any investor, is its protection. And that is, you know, the responsibility of the SEC. The SEC has two-pronged objectives. One of them is investor protection, and the other is market development. Having that at the back of my mind, it means that we must do everything within our powers and within the laws to providing that to Nigerians and making sure that we are happy again, investing in the market, making wealth for ourselves, and redistributing wealth in order to reduce poverty.
What do you think, since you've come in as the DG of the Securities and Exchange Commission, what do you think we've been lacking, the market has been lacking in terms of regulation now? What do you think that the market, or the challenges of the market in terms of regulation?
Okay, since we came on board, it's instructive to say that we have helped propel the economy. And one of the things that had been a challenge, really, before, you know, we came to the saddle, was time to market. You know, issuers will come to the market and they'll spend time before they get approvals to be able to raise capital. And we're saying that capital is the lifeblood of any economy or any company, you know. And of course, this is actually regulated by time. So what we have done since we came in, one of the first things we tackled was to reduce the time to market. So I can proudly say that we have reduced the time to market from over a year to 14 days. So
For 2
14
weeks?
days. Yes, 2 weeks.
So if I have a company now and I want to, like, go get listed, go get SEC approvals and all of that, are you telling me it's 2 weeks?
I can tell you without a doubt that in 14 days, with a complete approval, you have a complete paperwork, you get an approval. And it is clear. That is what we have done. If you see the banking recapitalization, we were a major part, a major catalyst in getting that to happen. The banks has raised 2.2 trillion from the Nigerian capital market, a feat that never was thought to happen.
That's for the recap that
This
they are
recap,
planning now
they are
for
done
next year, yes.
to the extent of the point we are in now. We've raised 2.2 trillion. And none of these issuance, right, will tell you that ever any of the applications were delayed, because we have put in place machineries to achieve that effectiveness and efficiency in delivering to the people. And all of these transactions have been fully subscribed to the extent. Not only have we done that, we've also encouraged the use of technology to a great deal. So offerings that happened during this bank recapitalization and every other offer around the companies that came to the market used an e-offering platform, which means you do not have to use paperwork anymore to be able to apply for an offer in the Nigerian capital market. It is a feat, and we believe strongly that we are getting better even by the day in doing that.
How are you able to achieve that?
We're able to achieve that because, technology is it. So we apply technology, approved the e-offering platform for the Nigerian exchange because it's part of our regulation and it's part of the law. Section 55 of the ISC, right, had actually provided that. An ISC that was issued in 2007, but had never been really activated. The first activation, which was near to normal, was the MTN issue. But subsequently, we felt that for us to be able to achieve the kind of, milestone we need to achieve in the market, we needed to do something better. And experimentally, we applied that to the banking recapitalization offers. And the success is marvelous and overwhelming.
Do you have an e-IPO system?
Yes, we do. The Nigerian exchange has an e-IPO system approved by the SEC. And that has been, tested, proven, and we're there.
How has it helped to enhance the process of IPOs, as well as even the time to market, which you've talked about? Yes.
So time to market is dependent on our efficiency. That is the efficiency of the SEC. And we have done that so well that all of the offers that came to the SEC within this period was within the time, for 14 weeks, 2 weeks, 14 days as we had promised. And having done that, the next level of it is the subscription. And the subscription happens via the NGS platform. So it is our responsibility as the SEC, following the law, to approve that. And we did approve it. And what has happened is that you've seen a lot of new persons, coming into the market, because technology is the next of kin to every Nigerian. The telephone itself. So there is no Nigerian that does not. It's the next of kin. Because you speak to your phone even before you say good morning to your family members. So you see, applying that and leveraging on that alone has helped more Nigerians to come into the market. We believe strongly that using technology will even bring much more Nigerians into the market, and the year 2025 is actually going to be a test year for the use of technology, even much more, bringing more persons into the Nigerian capital market.
I'll see if I can come back to technology a bit, but there's one pertinent issue which I need us to discuss, which is the issue of illegal operators in the market. At DG, I've had instances of perhaps people coming to me wherever they see me, they'll bring flyers to me. Oh, invest in this, that. So I'll just take a look at it. I was like, are you on SEC website? Does SEC know you? Have you gone to SEC? Have you done this? They said, no, the thing is, the company, this is how the company is with CSC. I said, no, it's not just about CSC. So what am I trying to say in essence? That many Nigerians are prone to investing in illegal schemes, Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes. Many Nigerians don't know their left from right. So what is the stance of SEC on illegal operators? That's one. And number two, even getting the word out there that Nigerians need to stay away from these kind of operators. I'm knowledgeable about this, and that is why when people come to me, I'll be like, okay. Or even some people, when they see me, they just run, because they know that I'll ask those questions. So what's the stance of SEC on this?
Wow. Thank you, Nancy. You've been doing a great job in trying to educate Nigerians, and we must appreciate you for that. But for the SEC, it is zero tolerance. We will not allow any such operator to exist. Because it is so terrible to think that somebody will want to dupe your fellow human beings just because the person wants to make an additional money. It is totally unfair. So for the SEC, the year going forward, it was started even before now, but going forward is going to be war for war. The new RSA that is being administratively cleaned up for the president's asset at the National Assembly speaks clearly to that. We have increased the fine and jail terms for anyone involved in illegal investment activities in Nigeria. Whatever nature it is, as long as it is calm, we definitely will go all out for it. And so, for us in 2025, my principal objective is first, the investor. It is the investor first, before any other thing. We believe strongly that as SEC, with the powers we have been given, and with the new law that is coming to be, right, it is going to be difficult. It's going to be very hot for anybody that is operating illegally. We are also open to receiving inquiries. If you want to operate legally, you are welcome. We have created opportunities for people to speak to us, to reach out to us, to ask questions, and get answers, right? So we are going to be tough on it, but while being tough on it, one of the things we've decided to do, in this regime is to make sure that people are also well informed. And education is priority for us. Getting the people to know, no matter how you look at it, a lot of the challenges that we have is because people really do not know. So it's also our responsibility to reach out to everybody, to all nook and cranny. What we have done in that respect is that we've just, set up a podcast room at the SEC. Okay. And that podcast room will lead us to what we call the Capital Market Radio. The idea is we want to get to everybody, no matter where you are. And that is important. By the time we do that, we're able to educate people to differentiate between an illegal investment and a genuine investment. But more importantly, if it is too good to be true, then certainly it is not true. So for us, it is a priority, and it's something that we are very, very keen on. My board is keen on it, and the minister had actually given us a directive that we must protect investors much more than ever before.
Are you working with your colleagues across the financial space? Because, for example, I raised the issue of CSE.
Yeah.
CSE would not even know. Any company can just go there. So are you working around the spectrum of other financial regulators? Or, because I know there's a committee, you guys also, all the financial people are there, FSR, CCC, yes, CBN, SEC, all of you are there. So how important is the cooperation to also help you? Because, okay, let's go back to MMM. I think even that time you came on the show, we discussed it. DG, people threatened me when MMM was on. And now my money, they will kill me and all of that. But I still went on to say, this is not a good investment. So how do you go on with your regulator colleagues to be able to, stamp it? Because it comes in different shapes and sizes.
So we have recently started clamping down. We wouldn't wait even before the law is signed. We are clamping down on people. But more importantly, with what you just said, speaking to collaboration, we are a strong member of the FSRCC, and we collaborate very much with them. The CAC Registrar General is a very close friend. And of course, in terms of the work, we collaborate very, very strictly. So we will continue to do that, because one of the things that the challenges we always will have is about people understanding exactly what you mean, rather than even what you say. So the ability to explain to the world, to say this is what the criteria you need to look at when you are investing. One thing that we probably don't do so much is being inquisitive, even when investments are brought before us. But that inquisitiveness is because probably we really do not know. What we desire most times is to make money. And in trying to make money, you are blinded by a lot of stuff. And those that bring about these illegal schemes are very good sweet talkers. So we, as the SEC, have much more responsibility collaborating with the capital market community, because we can't do it alone. if you see what we have done most recently, we've started bringing out billboards in Nigeria, speaking about investment and telling you exactly where to go. This was never the case, because capital market is more or less, conservative in nature. You don't find, a lot of ads coming out to explaining some of these things. But we are changing. We are beginning to change, because if we do not reach out to the people, certainly the bad guys will reach out to the people. So we want to be there first, and we are always available. We are opening lines up. In fact, one of the aims of the SEC in the next 2-3 years of its existence, of our regime, is to create more offices, to get the people closer to the SEC.
I was coming to that. How many offices do you have?
So currently we have 4 offices. We have the head office in Abuja. We have the Lagos office. We have the Kano office, and we have the Port Harcourt office, right? Prior to COVID-19, we had Kaduna office, and we had the Maiduguri office. But we are coming back to it to be able to, create more offices, to get people closer to us, and to be able to deal with their problems, individually and personally. And that would indeed help a lot to getting things happening. So we're going to be on radios. We're going to be at schools. We want to do everything we can to reach people, because education is power. Once you are able to educate them, you have less time, you spend less money in enforcement. So that's why we think that one of the primary things we'll do in the year 2025 is to reach out to everybody that needs to be reached out to. Because, the capital market is actually, a breath taker. And as such, it is important that we lead in front as SEC. And that's exactly what we want to do.
Let's talk more about monitoring, regulation, as well as sanctions, because I'm very keen on that. I remember those days when I was at the stock exchange in Lagos. There was so much around market manipulation and insider trading. I know that the NGX is the sole regulator, is an SRO on its own, but as SEC, you are, at the apex regulatory body. Can you speak to me about how perhaps you monitor and you also detect market breaches, talking about market manipulation or insider trading? Is there still anything like that again?
Well, the truth about it is that market malfeasance is a normal part of markets. However, it is very important that the regulator is on top of his game. And one of the things we have done is that we have increased surveillance. Because primarily, why do people actually engage in some of these things? They engage in these things because the regulator is far away. So now our monitoring activities has actually been heightened, right? We move into the market with more people. Of course, we had some support from some international organizations on what we call the risk-based supervision, right? We want to be there at every time. We want you to feel us. We want you to always see our shadow. So that's exactly what we're doing. And besides that, we are employing technology. Technology by way of AI, predictive and generative AI. So using these tools and surveillance tools, using these tools is helping us exactly to do what we ordinarily should be doing long time ago. Bringing to fore manipulations, monitoring on-site, monitoring off-site, and using technology.
Are you well equipped for that? Because it seems that the market is a bit smarter than the regulator. Under your leadership, are you assuring me that the SEC will be smarter than the market?
I can give you 150% assurance that under our leadership, right, it is going to be a different ballgame. Perhaps, let me reel out the qualifications of the people that work, as in my team. Mr. Bola Ajomale was the MD of the NASD. He was in the market, market infrastructure, right? Ms. Frana Chukwuogo is the Executive Commissioner of Legal and Enforcement. Prior to being, Executive Commissioner of Legal and Enforcement, she was Director of Legal at the SEC. Then, of course, Ms. Semia Hassan Usman has, crisscrossed, several platforms before becoming Executive Commissioner at the SEC. Besides, the SEC's board today is about the richest board ever at the SEC. Because in that board, you have 5 stockbrokers. You have 6 chartered accountants. We have the strength and capacity to be able to deal with the challenges of the market. So for us, it's a no-brainer that we know exactly what we're doing and how we should go about it because of knowledge. So if you take capacity as, an ingredient for development, then you can see clearly that we are poised to dealing with the challenges of the market. It may be tough. It will be wrong to assume that it's so easy. No. But we are ready and strong enough to deal with those challenges, God giving us strength.
Let's talk about your capital market master plan. That is one document that has been on for a while, from other DGs down to now. I'd like to know what the update is on concerning that. I also like to talk about the dividend stuff, because a lot of people are also not encouraged. Like, okay, when I get, invest in the stock markets, I don't get my dividends. Or even as a weekday show on business and finance, I can even send to you messages that I get, as in, okay, my father invested in this so many years ago, I don't know about it, I've not taken it. So I would like you to speak on the issues of dividends and the progress that is ongoing there.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Before I go to the capital market, which is my baby, I'll speak to this. And it is very sad that we have had this perennial problem up to this time. But for us, it's not about rolling over problems. It's about providing solutions. And that we've actually done. So what did we do on assumption of office? Because we know that this is a very sensitive and important part of the capital market and indeed the capital market ecosystem, what we did was we set up a unit, an office specifically, which is called the Office of the Unclaimed Monies at the SEC. The intention is to frontally attack the challenge of unclaimed dividends, wherein we deal specifically. Officers are dedicated to deal with that. And what we have done is that we are approaching it systematically, going from the latest companies to the last companies, because this has been there for God knows when. So what have we done? We started dealing with the new companies. We are saying by the end of 2025, any of those new companies should not have an unclaimed dividend. Because it doesn't make sense. The reason why most people had unclaimed dividends was because of postage, wrong address, But now you have BVN that is connected to your offerings. So you shouldn't have an unclaimed dividend. So by the ending of this year, none of those new companies that came to the market in the last 5 years should have an unclaimed dividend. First and foremost. Then we go back to the legacy issues.
Legacy issues, yes.
To say, okay, as you move on, you are able to reduce that. So it's a priority for us because that leads to market confidence. And so we are taking it frontally and dealing with it as it is. And that's why we set up that office to deal with that. And we are progressing in that. By the ending of the year, we'll share the reports with you to understand exactly what we have done, where we know we've had challenges, and how to deal with those challenges. So it is important for me that people who have money in the market should get that money back, right? And in doing that, we're encouraging more persons to come into the market. So with the unclaimed dividends, we know what to do. We've started doing it, and so we believe that the results will show for itself. Right?
The Capital Market Master Plan?
The Capital Market Master Plan, like I said, it's my baby. I was the first project manager of the Capital Market Master Plan.
Many years
ago. So it is something I understand very well. But we came to revise the Capital Market Master Plan because we saw that at the time, most of the things we thought about, had been taken over by time. But I haven't done that. Where are we today? We have reviewed the Capital Market Master Plan, and we can tell you with confidence that we are over 70% in its completion. However, it has an expiration date. 2025 is the expiration date. We believe strongly that within the next 5 months, we're able to clear everything that should be cleared. Because, of course, there are items in the Capital Market Master Plan that are work in progress. So you can finish them within a time span. But for those that have an end time, by June 2025, they will be off. And what next do we want to do? We want to set up a new Capital Market Master Plan to speak to the new technologies, to speak to the new products, to speak to new things that have come and the opportunities that exist in the market that people have not actually thought about before now.
Doctor, let me just fire you with this question around crypto assets.
Yeah.
What is the posture of the SEC around crypto assets?
Right.
We both know why we are laughing.
You're bringing out a smile in me.
Because Doctor, your thesis was on it. You know, I've been at a forum where you invited me and you gave us a breakdown. So I would like you, like in 2 minutes, to speak about that, because I'm seeing that our time is going, and it's like we've not even scratched the surface at all. So go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much again. Crypto assets, like you say, in 2020, I made a statement that crypto assets are like air, that you can't wish them away, right? They exist. What is paramount is dealing with the risk that's associated with it. And once you are able to deal with the risk, then you are able to manage it. We are in a global world, and we can't run away from it. So the digital asset space, which is actually even beyond crypto, is very critical to our survival. Why? Because our youths are deeply involved in it. We are very, 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 careful. But at the same time, we are empathic, because we know that dealing with issues around the youth is very, very important, even for our survival as a nation. So for us, we take the best line. We review everything that is, available, while taking the decisions that is beneficial to both the youth and to the Nigerian government. Mr. President is very, very concerned about the youth and, the things around the youth. So it is very important on our part to do what we need to do. In September 2020, long before now, we had issued a statement by the SEC specifically saying this is what we think about digital assets in every form, both as ICO, as STOs, as stable coins, as crypto assets, as just name it. The opportunities in that space are humongous.
So are you saying we're going to be seeing regulations on?
Of course, we have issued regulations
already.
We have already issued regulations. We have what we call the Accelerated Regulatory Incubation Program and the Regulatory Incubation Program. Why did we do that? Because we need to be careful. You see, we don't deal with issues the way they deal with you. So in being careful means that we have measured approvals, getting people together, getting people to understand, getting people educated, and getting people to align with international best practices.
But Doctor, you agree with me that that is one space that innovates. As soon as you close your eyes, open, there's something happening in that space.
I agree with you. And that is why we also are on top of the game.
Okay.
We are working tirelessly, day and night, with other regulators. The central bank is on board, the FIRS is on board, the CAC is on board, the NFIU is on board. We are all working together as a family to making sure that we deliver, right? Not just to the youth, but to Mr. President.
How are the reforms that Mr. President is embarking on right now? How do you think it will affect the capital market this year? And let me add a question, because we're getting a few questions from our viewers. This is coming from Ale Olagoke. He's saying, what key economic policy factors will shape Nigeria's capital markets this year? Okay, that was the question I asked earlier. And how can investors navigate potential risk and opportunities? I don't know if this question is for you, but I know you can answer, because that could be for the MD of NG, stock exchange, But I know you will be able to speak on it, though. Then, given the global economic trends and Nigeria's macroeconomic environment, what sectors are likely to drive capital market growth? This is the regulator man.
The truth about it is that all sectors.
Yes.
See, the capital market, as we are today, Mr. President is mainstreaming the capital market into the Nigerian economy. That is why we are providing solutions in every area. Is it in agriculture? Is it in housing? Is it in healthcare? Just name it. Is it in aviation? The capital market is there to provide those solutions. Why? Because the capital market is the only place you get long-term funds. The bank is for short-term funds. So it's totally a mismatch when you find, people going to the banks to raise money to run long-term projects. No. The place to do that is the capital market. And the capital market is positioned to do so. Mr. President understands the capital market much more than most Nigerians do. If you recall, the development of Lagos State has come as a result of the issuance of bonds several years, long before most people thought about it. Mr. President was the one that was in charge. Lekki, as it is today, is a brainchild of bonds issued by the capital market. In fact, if you are, you want to know, Lagos State is the only state that has a local government that has issued bonds.
Yeah.
That is
municipal bonds.
Yes.
So
that is to tell you how depth the president is with regards to capital market. He knows the value of capital market. He has used it for Lagos State, and that's why Lagos State ranks today as the highest internally generated revenue, in the country. So clearly, Mr. President is on board.
But Doctor, you also agree with me, as they have their affinity and as they are romancing with the capital market, that is also debt that is going into their books, as it were. That's one. How do you think that states have been able to manage it? And I know that you also spoke, I think, a few days ago, where you said that you will meet with governors of states to enable them see the importance of capital market. Doing that also, but also having in mind that they also need to balance it in terms of transparency, in terms of efficiency, and in terms of even using those funds well and not plowing their states in debt.
That is why the capital market is the best place to raise funds, because the capital market provides structure, it provides governance, right? So it provides accountability and it provides transparency. This does not happen in the banking system. You go to the bank, it's one-on-one, it's bilateral, you raise money. But when you come to the capital market, you have to be accountable to the people. And besides that, projects that come to the capital most often are projects that bring about increased revenue generation for the state. So the capital market does not raise money for you when you do not have a plan. The capital market raises money for you when you have a plan. Where else will it be better for state governments or local governments to raise capital other than the capital market? And that is why we encourage people to come to the capital market. We are available to give guidance. As regulators, that's our responsibility, making sure that borrowing is more responsible. That is what's important. Because if you borrow from the banks, you cannot demand responsibility. But if you borrow from the capital market, you demand responsibility, you demand transparency, and you demand effective use of such monies. And that's why the capital market is the place to be. Okay. And we are there to guide. Okay,
we have just about 3 minutes, and let me shoot 3 questions.
Yeah.
What are the corporate governance requirements now? Okay, not requirements. How are you going along financial reporting and market disclosures for companies? Because it's a given that companies listed must, disclose their finances to you. Then the second question is, I would like you to look through your crystal ball and tell me what 2025 will look like, as the apex regulating body. Then I want to bring in this question. I don't know if you've also been thinking about it. The NBS will rebase Nigeria's GDP and also rebase CPI. Yeah. Are you looking at it that it may distort the way our sectors are being calibrated, and if that has an implication for the capital market? I don't know if you and your colleagues are looking at that.
Yeah, so let me hit on that question quickly. As an economist, you know that the intrinsic value of Nigerian companies have actually not been exploited. Oftentimes, the companies are cheaper than they should be, right? So rebasing tries as much as possible to bring them to some level that it's highly appreciative. They are not what they are. The value of Nigerian companies are huge. But because of the nature of the macroeconomic indicators, it is not being reflected. So for me, rebasing CPI, good. It shows, at least, gives some air in the value of the Nigerian companies. So that, for me, is important. So the other question you asked about?
Financial reporting.
Financial reporting. Disclosure. We have a department called the Financial Standards and Corporate Governance Department, principally responsible for companies to provide reports quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. And that is very critical for us because we're employing analysis that will bring to fore challenges that exist in some of these companies. And as we get them, definitely we'll deal with them. So we are, bullish about making sure that the corporate governance stance of most companies has improved and making sure that we guide companies when they are going wrong. So for us, it's critical.
2025?
2025, fantastic year.
Oh.
Fantastic year. It's a year that every capital market enthusiast must look through to, because we're talking about infrastructural development, we're talking about commodities, we're talking about new products, we're talking about innovation, we're talking about digitalization. 2025 is huge. Okay, so
to ensure that you get the fantastic returns, yes, what skills, just give me 2 skills as like an investor, 2 skills that an investor should possess this year, just 2.
First is education.
Okay.
You must read. You must understand, then you must be very, very meticulous. Because when you pick take a decision, right, there is a need to do a proper evaluation. So your evaluative skill must be top-notch.
Okay. So education and evaluation.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Key.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agama.
My pleasure.
I'll speak to you again soon. You promised me when your report is out, definitely. We have a direct communication, so we always know. I always follow up what you and your colleagues do. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, I've been speaking with Dr. Emomotimi Agama. He's the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we've been talking about the capital market this year. I hope you've been able to get one or two things from this interview. Join us again tomorrow, Moneyline with Nancy. I am Nancy Naji. Be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. Thank you for making it up to this minute, watching the video. Thank you all. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moneyline with Nancy TV. Like, follow all our other social media platforms where we keep you up to speed with fantastic interviews, as well as markets, personal finance, business, and economy information. This is the best place to be. I'll see you all again in the next video.